Hello, so this lesson is going to be about working with styles. InDesign has all kinds of styles. There are paragraph styles, character styles, table styles, cell styles. What setting up a style allows for you to do is it creates a preset with all of these custom attributes that you can apply. So if you want all your headers to look a certain way, you can just create either a paragraph style or a character style, and then you just select the parts that you want to change, and then you just hit that style and it will automatically change them. Another benefit is if later on you decide to change a style, you can just open up the settings for that particular style, make the changes you need to, and then when you hit OK, it will apply those changes to every instance that style is applied, so you don't have to manually make those changes by yourself. So go ahead and in the lesson 9 folder that you downloaded, there's going to be 2 files in there. Go ahead and select the start file. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to create and apply a paragraph style. So go ahead and zoom in on this left page here where it says heirloom vegetable seeds. We're going to use our type tool to highlight that. And then I'm going to go up to my control panel here, and in the fill section, remember the fill is the solid T, it's not the T with the outlines on it. So I'm going to go to the fill section and we're going to change that to red tomato. And then over in the font size field, I'm going to change that to 18. And then I'm going to switch over to my paragraph formatting controls. And I'm going to go over to the space before section, so it'll be the third field in. I'll have the 3 lines with the box on top of it. Go ahead and change that to 0.05, and then I'm going to go to space after, which should be the field right next to it. That will be the one with the 3 lines with the box underneath it, and we're going to change that to 0.025. And then with this text still selected, I'm going to go over to my paragraph styles. If it's not already off to your right here, you can just go to Window, Styles, and Paragraph Styles. And what we want is I want to make a new paragraph style. There are 2 ways to do this. You can either hit the square with the plus sign in it, or you can go up to our menu, our panel menu here, and hit New Paragraph Style that way. So go ahead and open up the dialog box. If it doesn't automatically bring it up, you can just make the new style and then just double click on it and it'll bring this up. We're going to name this Head 2. And then where it says based on, we don't want it linked to any other styles. So we're going to change that to no paragraph style. And then we're going to edit the next style. What this does is we can apply head 2 to a section of text, and then when we hit enter or return, it will either set it as the same style, or we can change it so that way it will automatically switch over to a different kind of style. So in the next 2 style, I'm going to change that to intro body. And then I'm going to go to shortcut. Now shortcut allows us to set up a keyboard shortcut, so that way if we're using a style over and over again, rather than having to bring up our panel and clicking it, we can just quickly hit that shortcut and it will apply it for us. So I'm going to set mine to Shift 9, and then I'm just going to hit OK. Alright, so if you're looking at your paragraph styles panel, you'll notice a folder that says heads next to it. I'm going to just click and drag head 2 between head 1 and 3, so that way it's all in the correct folder. And then I want to apply this character style to the titles that are over here, so I'm just going to put my cursor into fruits and flowers and apply head 2 by clicking on it over in my paragraph styles panel. And then I'm going to click in tools and accessories, but this time I'm going to use my shortcut of Shift 9. And you'll see it applies tools and accessories to the head to paragraph style. Alright, next is I'm going to move back over to this page here, and I'm going to highlight Urban Oasis Gardens, and I'm going up to my character formatting, and I'm changing the fill to the green medium, and then I'm going over here to this little section that has the different T's. There's like two T's next to each other, a T with a superscript and like a T with a strike through it. In the second row, first one, there's a big T with a little t. That's our small caps. I'm going to select that. And what that does is it puts everything in caps, but it makes the first letters a little bit bigger so we can still differentiate that those are separate words. And then I'm going to go to my character panels, or my character style panel. Again, if you can't find it, just go to Window, Styles, and Character Styles. And I'm going to hit the New button here, but I'm going to hold down Alt or Option while I do that. And when I do that, it should just bring you straight into the character style. Just keep in mind that when you do that, you still have Urban Oasis highlighted. We're going to go ahead and name this Garden Name. And we're going to go down to Shortcut, and we're going to set this to Shift 8. And I'm going to check mark Apply Style to Selection. And then I'm going to hit OK. So now on these two pages, I'm going to find all the instances of Urban Oasis Gardens. So there should be one in the second paragraph, second line, and third line. And I can either go over and click on the style, or I can use my shortcut. The next one is going to be on the right page here. It's going to be in the second line in the first paragraph. And I just want the word, not the period. And I'm going to use the shortcut for that, so I'm going to hit Shift 8. And you'll see it applies the style. And then there's going to be one in the second paragraph, second line. And that should be it. Next is we're going to nest some character styles in a paragraph style. The reason you might want to do this is because nesting allows for you to apply distinct character formatting to very specific portions of a paragraph. So like if you want every paragraph with this style, if you want the first line or the second word or the first character to look a certain way, you can set that up in a nested character style. So that way when you use that paragraph style, it'll automatically apply the character style as well. So I'm just going to deselect everything, and then I'm going to go to page 4. And I'm going to grab my type tool, and I want to select green and the colon there. And then I'm going to go to my character style panel, and I'm going to make a new character style. This one's going to be called Variety. And I'm going to go to where it says Basic Character Formats. And the font family needs to be Myriad Pro. And the font style needs to be bold. And then I'm going to go over to character color. And we want green medium for the fill. So make sure you have the fill. And then I'm going to hit OK. And now I'm going to select the word right next to green. I'm going to select Black Valentine and make sure you get the period as well. And I'm going to make a new style again. This one is going to be Vegetable Name. And in basic character formats, this needs to be Myriad Pro. The style needs to be italic. And then I'm just going to hit OK. Now I'm just going to deselect everything. And I'm going to go into my paragraph styles. And I want the catalog body. So I'm just going to double click on that to bring up the options. And I'm going to go over to where it says drop caps and nested styles. And then I'm going to click on this button that says new nested style. And then it'll create this line here. And I'm going to click on this dialog box. And I'm going to set this to variety. And I'm going to hit this new nested style again. And this one's going to be vegetable name. So each of these categories you can actually edit to fit your specific requirements. So if we go to that first one here on through, you have the option between through and up to. For variety, we're going to leave that as through. We're going to leave one there, but where it says words, if you click this drop down, there are all these different options. Or what we're going to do is we're just going to click in this field here. We're going to get rid of words, and we're going to type in that colon, so that way it knows to stop the style when it reaches the colon. Next, for vegetable name, where it says through, we're going to change that to up to. And where it says words, we're going to change that to sentences. So that way it knows to stop at the period. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And you'll notice that everywhere that uses that catalog style, the variety name is green and the vegetable name is the italic. So next is going to be a object style. So I'm going to deselect everything and I'm going to go up to page 1. And I'm going to use my selection tool and I'm going to select where it says Urban Oasis Gardens. And then I'm going to go to Object, Effects, and then Drop Shadow. So once you have this dialog box open, you shouldn't have to change anything. Just make sure Drop Shadow is checkmarked and hit OK. And with this object still selected, I'm going to go to Window Styles, and then I'm going to go to Object Styles. And I want to make a new object style, so I'm going to go down to that Create New Style button. I'm going to hold Alt or Option. And since we still have it selected, it's going to use the settings we have set up, so we can just change the name up here to Drop Shadow. And then I'm going to hit OK. And now I'm going to go down to page 6 and I'm going to select this How to Grow. And I'm going to apply the Drop Shadow. Next is going to be table and cell styles. So I'm going to go up to page 3. I'm going to get rid of this panel here because I don't need it. And I'm going to zoom in to this table down here. And I'm going to grab my type tool. And I want to select this first row here. And you just do that by having your type tool selected and just going to the very left edge here and selecting that entire row. So I'm going to go to Table, Cell Options, Strokes and Fills. And down in Cell Fill, I'm going to change that to Green Brightest. And then I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to go to Window, Styles, Cell Styles. And I'm going to make a new cell style. So I'm going to go into the panel menu and I'm going to hit New Cell Style. And this is with that row still selected. I'm going to name this Table Head. And then for paragraph style, I'm going to change that to Head 4. And then I'm going to hit OK. And then to make sure it's applied to this row, I'm going to select that table head. And again, if it gives you the plus sign, just hold Alt and click on it again. You can also go to the menu option here and just clear overrides or clear attributes not defined by style. Now I'm going to deselect everything and I'm going to make a table style. So I'm going to go to Window, Styles, Table Styles, put that in there, and I'm going to make a new table style. So this one is going to be named Garden Table. I'm going to go down to Cell Styles, and where it says Header Rows, I'm going to select Table Head. Then I'm going to go to the Fills category, and I'm going to change Alternating Pattern to every other row. In this first section, I'm going to change the color to paper. Now remember, paper doesn't always mean white. You can change that swatch to match whatever colored paper you're going to be printing this out on. So if we were going to print it on pink paper, we would change the swatch to be pink as well, so that way we can see what our design looks like with the colored paper. So in this first section, just make sure it's one paper, and then I'm going to go over to the next one. It should say 1, and in color, I'm going to change that to green brightest, but I'm going to set the tint to 30%. And remember, a tint is just the color plus white, so we're just getting a bit more toned down version of the green brightest. And then I'm going to hit OK. And it will have added that style to our table styles. So I'm going to switch over to my type tool, and I'm going to just put it in this table here. And I'm going to select that new style we just made. And you should notice that it will change the alternating row colors. So next is I'm going to go to page 6. And I'm going to select this table over here. And I'm going to apply that garden table. Now if it gives you trouble where it doesn't change the heading as well, just go ahead and select that heading and go back to your cell styles and change that table head. And remember, if it gives you that plus sign, you can either just hit the override button or just hit Alt and click it again. So next up is I'm going to go over to page 4. And I'm going to grab my type tool and I'm going to highlight beans. And then I'm going to go to type and paragraph. And then in the panel menu, I am going to go to paragraph rules. And make sure this is set to rule below. If it says rule above, just click that arrow and select rule below and then turn the rule on. Remember, don't have rule above selected and hit rule on first, because you can actually apply 2 rules at the same time. So just make sure that rule below is the only one with rule turned on. So weight is going to be 1. Color is going to be red tomato. Offset is going to be 0.025. And then I'm going to hit OK. And you notice that there's a red line underneath beans now. But I want to apply it to all of these headings here. So I'm going to go to paragraph styles. And you can see it has header 3 selected, but has a plus sign next to it. That's just telling us that it has most of the attributes for header 3 applied, but there have been changes made. So with header 3 selected, I'm going to go to the panel menu. And I'm going to go to redefine style. And now it knows that this setting that I changed for beans needs to be applied to everywhere else that uses header 3 as well. And you can see it adds it to beets, corn, melon, all of those. Now I'm just going to deselect everything. And something else you can do is, if you're going to use the same styles in a different document, you can actually load those styles onto the current one you're working on. So I'm going to go to page 2. And then I'm going to go to my paragraph styles. And I'm going to go to the panel menu here. And I'm going to go to load paragraph styles. So you're just going to go into the lesson 9 folder. And you're going to select the file that has 09 end. And you'll hit open. And I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger. And you can see all of these different styles that it's going to load. I'm going to go ahead and hit uncheck all, because we don't need every single one of these. We just need a couple. So I'm going to select drop cap body, and it should also select drop cap as well. And I'm going to hit OK, so that way only these 2 styles aren't imported. I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to grab my type tool, and I'm going to go to the 3rd paragraph that starts with look for your tried and true favorites. I'm just going to put my cursor right in there. And in paragraph styles, I'm going to scroll down to where it says drop cap body. And I'm going to apply that style to this paragraph. And you should notice that the L changes to a drop cap in look. And then that's all of the changes that I'm going to make for this. So if you want to look at the finished product, you can just go into presentation mode. And you can see how the finished product looks. And then once you're happy with it, just go ahead and turn it in on canvas.